Good morning, teacher. My name is Belisa Paz Eleuterio. I am going to talk about AMS, operational amplifier. An operational amplifier multiplier directly output which is generated with which positive and negative source. Inverter amplifier. In this circuit, it is connected to ground and the signal is amplified in the input through. In the output through, the input is a virtual ground point since it is a 0 point potential. The most commonly used circuit in this constant gain circuit, the inverting amplifier. Amplifier and invert and signal that is output voltage value is phase opposition with the input voltage and the value is obtained by multiplying the input. Non-inverting amplifier. This is the case where the input voltage is a phase with the output voltage BC. This is output voltage generates a current towards the inverted terminal. In turn route, a current generates toward the same terminal but of opposite sign to both current cancel, reflecting the amplified input voltage at the output. As mentioned before, the value of is reflected in the inverting input of the operational amplifier, and taking into account that it's considered a virtual short circuit, we can establish that the okay. Thank you.
Good morning, teacher. Now, inverting amplifier. This the case. This is the case where the input voltage is the phase with the output voltage. This output voltage generates a current toward the inverting terminal. In turn, a current in general toward the summit terminal. Both of the positive sig should both current cancel, reflecting the amplified input voltage at the output. As mentioned before, the value is reflected in the inverting input, the operational amplifier, and taking in account is considered a virtual short circuit, we can establish it, and since the current at the inverting input default, and finally voltage. Differential amplifier. The most common configuration case is to higher the signal input drawn both gates, both the inverting and loading gates, and the output acting away being proportional to differential between the input and will be in phase with the amplified assigned alto in the base at the two provision see about the differential amplifier as unique characteristics. The configuration show a linear active device with two input and on output relative the average supply voltage or in the ideal differential amplifier the voltage. Uh, where is the gain? The output signal is not affected by uncommon signals on input in real amplifier because the output depends not only on the differential of the inputs but also of the average level. Do better understand this argument due to input signal and feeds studied separated and the combined. As always, the differential voltage and the input current and the terminal is zero. Remember that the output voltage due with bit carried. The output voltage due to a signal bit with assuming that the output assigned the gain equation for the inverting circuit bit that applying the theorem of the superposition of the output voltage and marking in conclusion and the gain in the stage is for signal in differential mode is this configuration is unique in that in receive a signal common to button input. This is known as the zero differential input voltage property that is in the event that the signal and are identical. The analysis is simple while be divided between resulting in a lower voltage due to infinite gain in amplifier and the zero differential input voltage. An equal voltage must appear at the sum node since the network of resistors and is equal to network and the sum voltage amplified to both in terminals is floated. Most at zero potential do remain equal will be at the summit potential as which is fat ground. This very useful property of the differential amplifier can be used to discriminate undesirable common mode noise comportment while differently operating a signal are amplified is relation holds. Since by definition the amplifier as no gain being equal a signal are appear to both inputs, the gain for common signal is zero. The impedance of the two stage inputs are the differential for the no inverting input. The input impedance, the impedance for inverting is the differential impedance is the impedance between the input inverting error. A modification of the inverting amplifier, the integrator shown in the figure takes advantage of the factory and input voltage implement giving rise at the current as was the case with the inverting amplifier, which having infinite impedance and the input current pays to capacitors we The, fe- the feedback element, the feedback element in the integration in the capacitors. The constant current helps reduce to linear voltage ramp. The voltage is the integral input current is to charge co-bit feedback loop. Among two multiplex applications that the operational amplifier, the analog computer is the great impedance with constants of the implementers and solution and system linear equation in addition to the solution of differential equation of only other.